Hi boys and girls, it's Mrs. Evans Enchanted Reading Time once again. And there's Jack. He has chosen to join us again. Isn't that so fun? So I hope you've been enjoying the stories, but today is a special story. It's called The Old Turtle. And this story I didn't read to my kindergartners because it talked about, Jack has decided to leave. Bye, Jack. It talked about God, and in a public school, we couldn't read our stories like that. So now I'm going to read it to you. And it's not only a story for children, it's a story for moms and dads and aunts and uncles and grandparents and cousins, boys and girls. It's a story for everyone, and it's especially hard right now, right? Your moms and dads are always talking about the virus and being in quarantine and having to stay at home and not go anywhere and do things because of the virus. And so this kind of talks about a little bit about maybe how we should look at this virus and maybe how we should deal with each other. You're going to love the pictures in this. There's the old turtle. Isn't that beautiful? Here's our title page. Old Turtle. It's written by Douglas Wood, and the watercolors are done by Chang Ki Chi. So they're watercolor pictures. They're just beautiful. You're going to love them. Here we go. Where are the pictures here? There'll be more pictures, I promise. Once, long, long ago, yet somehow not so very long, when all the animals and rocks and winds and water and trees and birds and fish and all the beings of the world could speak and understand one another, there began an argument. It began softly at first, quiet as the first breeze that whispered, "He is the wind who is never still." Quiet as the stone that answered, "He is the great rock that never moves." Gentle as the mountain rumbled, "God is a snowy peak high above the clouds." And the fish in the ocean had answered, "God is a swimmer in the dark blue depths of the sea." "No," said the star, "God is a twinkling and a shining far, far away." "No," said the ant, "God is a sound and a smell and a feeling who is very, very close." "God," insisted the antelope, "is a runner, swift and free, who loves to leap and race with the wind." "She is a great tree," murmured the willow, "a part of the world, always growing and always giving." "You are wrong," argued the island. "God is a separate and apart. God is like the shining sun, far above all things," added the blue sky. "No, he is a river who flows through the very heart of things," thundered the waterfall. "She is a hunter," roared the lion. "God is gentle," chirped the robin. "He is powerful," growled the bear. And the argument grew louder and louder and louder. "Stop!" A new voice spoke. It rumbled loudly like thunder, and it whispered softly like a butterfly sneezes. The voice seemed to come from, why, it seemed to come from Old Turtle. Old Turtle hardly ever said anything and certainly never argued about God. But now Old Turtle began to speak. God is indeed deep, she said to the fish in the sea, and much higher than high, she told the mountains. He is swift and free as the wind, and still and solid as a great rock, she said to the breezes and stones. She is the life of the world, Turtle said to the willow, always close by, yet beyond the furthest twinkling light, she told the ant and the star. God is gentle and powerful, and above all things and within all things. God is all that we dream of and all that we seek, said Old Turtle. All that we come from and all that we can find, God is. Old Turtle had never said so much before. All the beings of the world were surprised. They became very quiet. But Old Turtle had one more thing to say. There will soon be a new family of beings in the world, she said, and they will be strange and wonderful, and they will be reminders of all that God is. They will come in many colors and shapes with different faces and different ways of speaking. Their thoughts will soar to the stars, but their feet will walk upon the earth. They will possess many powers. They will be strong yet tender, a message of love from God to the earth, and a prayer from the earth back to God. What was Old Turtle talking about? People? But the people forgot. They forgot that they were a message of love and a prayer from the earth, and they began to argue about who knew God and who did not, and where God was and was not, and whether God was or was not. And often the people misused their powers and hurt one another, and sometimes killed one another. And they hurt the earth until finally even the forests began to die. And the rivers and the oceans and the plants and the animals and the earth itself. Because the people could not remember who they were or where God was. Until one day there came a voice, like the growling of thunder, but as soft as butterfly sneezes. Please stop! The voice seemed to come from the mountain who rumbled. Sometimes I see God swimming in the dark blue depths of the sea, and from the ocean who sighed, he is often among the snow-capped peaks reflecting the sun. From the stone who said, I sometimes feel her breath as she blows by, and from the breeze who whispered, I feel his still presence as I dance among the rocks. And the star declared, God is very close, and the island added, his love touches everything. And after a long, lonesome, and scary time, the people listened, and they began to hear and to see God in one another and in the beauty of all the earth. And Old Turtle, he smiled. And so did God. And that's the end of our story. So this is a very interesting story about God and what people think about him and or her, and what they that sometimes we forget that it's really not about the argument, as it is more about believing and seeing the beauty in the earth and in our world, and seeing the beauty and goodness and kindness in each other. And so while we're in this very difficult time, let's remember the old turtle and all the mountains and the plants and the oceans and the stars and the air, and how wonderful all those things are each and every day. When the sun comes out, it's wonderful, and when it snows, it's amazing, and when the rain falls, it smells so good. And when we see the butterflies and the little ants on the ground and the deep blue ocean and how beautiful it is, how wonderful all that stuff is, and that it's up to us to take care of all of that, and it's up to us to take care of each other also. So I hope you enjoyed today's message. Have a wonderful night, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, boys and girls.